work shouldn't stop you from getting shredded, not living your life. That's why I felt while getting 10% body fat while working 60 hours per week in the heat, feeling miserable, but I had to make something and I had to figure out a system that will work. So today I'm gonna show you 5 things and 5 habits that are gonna help you reach 10% body fat no matter where you are right now. And if you like implement it to your identity, you will absolutely 100% reach your goal. There is no other way. While working 60 hours or even 70 hours, these principles work because they focus on our identity. When I had some excess body fat, 70 kg more than my shredded 10% status, I had to lose some weight. While I was working 60 hours per week, managing content and seeing my loved ones and having freedom. So what I basically did was I had to figure out the system. I was in pain, I was constantly failing through all these years, and I was getting through a wall. I felt terrible, I felt that there was no solution to all of this, and I felt like if I didn't have a stable job working less hours so I can focus on my physique and my life, I thought I needed to hit the gym 6 times per week and bring Tupperware everywhere. And I didn't want to be that guy. I just want to be that guy that looks cool on photos, has a nice physique, has confidence, and gets to experience life. Because at the end of the day, that's the point. We should enjoy life and our physique should add to our lives. Which brings me to the first point, which is intermittent fasting. So I used intermittent fasting for the past like 6 or 7 years. I've been doing intermittent fasting for every single day. This is due to the fact it's so powerful that it has helped me a lot of times shrink my weight down, even on the bad times where I was binge eating a lot, feeling terrible about my body image. When I did actually intermittent fasting, I shrunk down my eating window and actually consumed less calories throughout the day. Now, if I didn't have intermittent fasting into my life, I would have probably gained more weight when I was in a bad situation, binge eating, feeling bad about myself, and just in a rut. Basically, intermittent fasting means just basically fasting and having an eating window, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of your sleep, and 8 hours after you wake up. I mean, if it's 15 hours, it's okay. And your last meal can be at 9 or 10 o'clock. You don't have to be really strict with it. It should give you a structured approach on how you approach your nutrition long term. Because if you actually do this, and studies have shown this, it actually reduces your appetite after 3 or 4 weeks. There are some people that absolutely cannot adhere to intermittent fasting. It's okay, you know, you can eat breakfast. But this approach helped me tremendously reach 10% body fat because after I fasted the whole day, I broke my fast with an apple and some whey protein. Then I had so many calories spread on an 8-hour window or a 6-hour window because I had my apple and my whey protein. So sometimes it even became difficult having my calories. It was like actually having extra food, so it was quite a lot. There were times that I was thinking of maybe like quitting it and adding breakfast, you know, like if you're bulking and stuff, like it can be hard intermittent fasting, and if you're consuming a lot of protein, it's really heavy on your stomach. But that's good. We need that when we're dieting and getting 10% body fat because we need every weapon in our arsenal that's gonna target hunger and muscle retention, and that's our weapons. Okay, we need protein for muscle mass and we need to preserve our hunger in order to stick to the diet long term. So what I recommend is you absolutely start fasting right now. It will be hard at the start, but you will get better week by week, and after 4 to 5 weeks you will feel good with it and you can start feeling better and better. You can have black coffee, water, of course, electrolytes while doing it, and some tea, but no sugar because sugar usually has glucose and spikes your insulin levels and ruins the benefits of intermittent fasting. Which brings me to the second point, which focusing on high protein meals no matter what. A habit you need to implement is like every meal has to be high protein apart from your freedom meal, but most of your meals should be high in protein, meaning when you say, oh, I'm gonna have this meal, I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna have my post-workout meal, protein is the #1 priority. Your muscles need to be recovered, you need to compensate for your satiety because you're actually dieting, and you need to also feel full, you know, while eating that meal and feel good. So protein #1. You know how to get protein: ground beef, chicken breast, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, all these options. But #1 is you hit your protein because it's a non-negotiable. Like I have to hit 100 grams, 180 grams to 190 grams of protein every single day. So my cottage cheese, my whey protein are non-negotiables. I don't have an option. I have to consume them because if I don't consume them, I won't have my muscle mass. And if I lose muscle mass while dieting, muscle and fat at the same time, my body will look terrible. And we don't want that. We want mostly fat because if we remove the fat from the muscle, the body actually looks good, and that's what we like. So stick to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Make sure you hit it. Make sure you have some non-negotiable meals. And actually a really good advice is have some protein you like. Like I love having steak, I love having cottage cheese and Greek yogurt with some stevia, not honey and stuff, but that's my preference. Okay, you have your own diet. You should create your own diet. I'm just giving you the principles and the ideas so you can create yours. Creating your diet is the key, because our number 3 tip is adherence. When I say adherence, is sticking to your diet, okay? You need something that will stick long term and you're actually gonna do it. Because if I have a diet that you're gonna do for 3 weeks, lose tons of weight, and then on the 4th week you're gonna binge it and not gain all the way back, we don't want that diet. Consistency beats perfection most of the time. That's how I got my best results. On the days I didn't feel good, on the days I didn't have the perfect diet, I just stuck with it and I came back with a win. I reached 10% body fat. I felt amazing. I felt good about myself. And that's the key, you know, in getting your physique to the next level. When I say adherence, meaning you should have some freedom into your diet. Follow the 80-20% rule, meaning 80% of your calories from whole foods and 20% from your junk food. This can be a chocolate bar. This can be a food you like. I know it's not a big freedom percentage, but it's actually something that greatly helps you into your diet. And also having a free meal per week, meaning you can have whatever you want. A free meal, not a free day. Because if you have a free day, you destroy all your progress, and we don't want that. Which brings me to my next tip, which is hitting the gym. I mean, hitting the gym doesn't have to be 6 times a week, 7 times a week. Going all out, feeling miserable, feeling burnt out. This is the wrong process. This is the bad and old school approach. The new approach is hitting the gym 4 times per week, 3 times per week, 1 hour, going all out, 2 working sets per muscle, 2 working sets per exercise, going full out, more focused, more energy, and better recovery. Well, that's what I did, and that's what I will do. That's what I'll do going down the years. And if I have more time, I might do running, I might do jiu-jitsu, I might do all these other sports, because I love playing sports. I love hitting the gym as well, but it takes so much time, and I gotta work, I gotta see my loved ones, and I'm not as focused as doing like 3 sets of 12 the traditional way. So what I recommend is do your compound movements, 2 sets on 8 to 10 reps, really heavy, and train and rest for 2 minutes. And your isolation, you can do supersets and drop sets. That really decreases the amount of time you spend in the gym, but make sure you go hard, make sure you're recovered after each exercise, make sure you go hard. That's how you're gonna go long term. And my last tip is actually sticking to your identity and habit goals. Meaning, if one day doesn't go as planned, just do the habits 5 minutes. That's the advice from Atomic Habits, a book that really helps you on building your habits. And this goes to your dietary habits and training habits. Go even on your days that you're actually feeling like trash. You know, I had my best workouts when I felt trash, and I actually had some PRs when I was sick, you know, just hitting the gym. So my advice is make sure you have progress every single day, just a small fraction, because this actually is a vote for your new identity, your athlete identity, your improved new identity, your new version. And after week by week by week, 1-2 months, it becomes a new version of you, a new man. You feel refreshed, you feel better, and that's the key. That's the key into your new life, and you're feeling amazing, feeling confidence, and actually having a positive body image. So, do you want to feel that? I'm sure you do, and that's how I felt when I reached my best physique ever. And I want you to reach your best physique ever too. Now, if you want the exact system and exact principles I use to get to 10% body fat, and how you can do it in an adherent way with freedom, going out, having dinners, and actually seeing your loved ones while being really busy, working 60 to 70 hours per week, and actually living life outside the gym, I have created a product called Get Lean by Design. It's on the description. Make sure you get the full guide right down below. Leave me a comment for future videos, and I'm so happy to have you here. Let's get it on the next one, guys. Peace.